Welcome to Graeme Games. My name is Graeme. This is a game. Today I'm playing Goobies. I think at this point we've all seen approximately 1,000 Vampire Survivors likes, and this one just caught my eye. Artifacts is something I won't be able to use just yet, so that's all coming up, so let's just jump into things. Wiggle Woogle, Dizzy Wizzy. I won't have access to these additional characters. Bingus Bongus, Woozy Woozy, Spinky Winky, and back to Wiggle Woogle. He can choose from one extra item upon leveling up, and the items are generally of better rarity. HP, speed, damage, rate of fire, and range. So, this is a cool minimalist approach to display your items and stats. Okay, so that's a nice way of displaying the stats, actually, and items. I won't have any just yet. So yeah, we've all seen so many games of this genre so far, and I just was really attracted. Oh, I can play mouse only. I can just click and drag to follow the mouse, and he will do some auto shooting. Or I think I prefer the feel of the keyboard, the speed of the keyboard. It's just weird and different in a way that I had to try. Citrine Crumbs, passive, increase attack speed. Frostbolt is a projectile. I don't know what all those dots mean. 0, maybe it's the number of them you currently have. That would be like my guess. Attacks have a 10% chance to conjure a frost bolt that slows all enemies by 20 and deals 1 damage. Attacks wave a 20% chance to splinter 3 times upon impact, dealing 2 damage each. Have, not wave, have. That the font's a little chunky, and I read it correctly there and not there. More experience. The splintering sounds fun. Attack speed, though, is just like in a game like this where you just need to be dealing damage and you just want to smack things around as quickly as possible. Having damage output is generally favorable. I don't want to stand near the trees and anything. I just saw that an experience pill, whatever we're gonna call them, got lost behind the tree there almost, and it's, I don't want to miss that. So I could really just keep adding. So yeah, like I said, that's the number of them you have, also just a count of them. A new projectile, Dizzy Balls, that shoot enemies dealing 3 damage. So it's just an additional projectile. Does that mean all attack speed? Every attack speed? Well, let's get an additional projectile and see how that looks. How's the Dizzy Ball? Oh, it's shooting. It has like a gun attached to it. Okay, well you're gonna make me chase down all this experience there, you Dizzy gun. Let me go over to a more open area. Although I'm a little bit tempted. What if I just run out to sea, never to be seen again? Okay, no, cannot do that. AoE, so the AoE things are orange. Oh, and that just must mean higher rarity rather than specifically AoE. There's also the Hailstorm. Attacks have a 10% chance to conjure a hailstorm, and attacks have a chance to throw an arching boomerang. Whereas these enemies have a 2% chance to convert into ghosts upon death for 5 seconds, dealing low damage. And the Soul of Amam. Attacks have a chance to conjure the soul every time the soul pierces an enemy. An explosion will appear after its exodus, dealing up to 10% damage. Crazy, ridiculous. Very lengthy description. Like 1 in 30 that I kill will make that happen. That's actually not very common, but I'm hoping that it starts layering and building and reaches a level of absurdity that it's just devastating and just wipes things out. So orange was potentially the most rare because it was kind of shining, whereas the pinks are not. Spirit of Mumsa. They have a chance to make you enter a frenzy. During that time, you deal bonus damage and move faster. Chance to spawn a chain lightning. 25% chance is pretty good, actually. Deal more damage the faster you move. That's not going to help me very much. And increase move speed. Well, it's funny that those would go together, but you can only pick one. The chain lightning. The more damage I can deal to the more things, the better. It looks like I'm doing 0 damage a lot of the time. I'm seeing 6s, 3s, and... oh, no, that's just who I'm targeting. That is my next target. I don't know if there's any reason to explore. Hey, that was the soul or something, I think. Each critical strike has a chance of causing 2 slashes. I don't know how often crits happen. Extra damage per HP lost. Increase the radius of all AoE items. Let's just go projectiles, I think. Yeah, let's just add the means. There was a little bit of chain lightning going on there. I think if I just have more things dealing more damage more often, that is for the best. I like my little blob man. Does anyone remember World of Goo? That was a phenomenal physics game. Let's see. The Blooberang. I didn't even realize it was Blooberang. Amazing. Release a small sonic howl every 1 second, dealing 1 damage. That seems quite good, actually. That seems like maybe like the garlic of this game. I could make the hailstorm, but I think I'm better off just kind of creating a little bit of continuous damage, especially once that levels up. I imagine that'll be notably useful. We got a Voltorb coming in. Something similar at least. Oh god, okay. He literally did explode. He was Voltorb, or at least it's near enough to that. Essence of Zigrid. There's all these like made up ridiculous creatures or whatever that are a part of this. More experience from Wubby. A hardened tip. Ooh. All projectiles deal more damage. Attacks have a chance to conjure a meteoroid, dealing 10 damage to all enemies upon impact. Or this happens more often and deals more damage. So the howl being made stronger does seem quite useful. You can run through trees. You cannot run through rocks. So those are serving as a little bit of an obstacle, like just a little bit. I'm a little worried about that guy. I don't want him getting too close. Now small changes to medium. That's kind of funny that they specify that and show it in that way. That's useful. I appreciate it. 1,000 needles. Your initial attack will fork into 2 weaker projectiles. Oh, that's really good, actually. And goo attacks have a chance to conjure a homing goo, which seeks out an enemy in range and then explodes. I think just making the sonic howl bigger, more damage, more frequently, like it's a crazy strong skill. We have ones with little feet all of a sudden. Here's a more open area. I like there's like a little bit of safety in the open areas, so I'd like to go there. I don't want to get cornered against the water, actually, so maybe that isn't a great position to be in. The chain lightning, there's where that explosion, oh, no, I think that was my explosion. I think that was me summoning the spirit or whatever, and he explodes, not the guy exploding, the enemy. Fire, enemies have a chance to ignite, and then they deal damage to other enemies, I'm guessing. Strange fruit, increase attack range by quite a lot. Regenerate HP every 3 seconds and take less damage. I don't think I have any regen right now. I've had that same amount of health for quite some time, and eventually regen, I imagine, will become important. You don't actually have that much health, but things are also dealing like fractions of an amount of damage. So I'm just trying things out here. It seems like having a tiny means of recovering is useful, and for the most part, I'll just be good and be talented and take less damage. That's my strategy. Higher attack speed, the tranquilizing mass. It floats around you and stuns enemies and deals damage. So you could add that with the howl, and apparently you would just really pile on that immediate area. A piercing saw blade around the player that gets launched on enemy hit, dealing 6 damage, comes back after 6 seconds. That's okay. Mostly I think I do just want higher attack speed. Attack speed, attack damage. And the more often I'm attacking, then those things that have a % chance of triggering are going to trigger more often, because I just have more going on. Gaia! We're encountering our first boss. Oh god, okay. The bosses are kind of, if that's an indicator of what we're in for the bosses, that's actually quite exciting. Attack patterns they're going to force you to keep moving and react to. What am I supposed to attack, actually? Oh, no, that I don't think that's related to Gaia either. That seems like its own thing. I could continue my regeneration. Enemies have a chance to explode. 10% chance is pretty good. The chain lightning, the damage wouldn't increase, it would just chain more. I think explosive, I think making things explode would be really useful. Okay, so those are like hands that I don't have to concern myself with, just dodge them. But it set like a At least it tells you the direction it's about to fall. This, oh crap, I thought I could push through that. I kind of just got stuck. That didn't go how I wanted at all. More attack speed. Ignore everything else. I want to kill the little mini boss here, and then I'll worry about Gaia. But presumably he'll grant like a boost of some kind. So that's where I want my focus to be. Dang it. It's kind of easy to get cornered. Try to keep my distance. Dang it. Maybe you just got to commit to one direction and just keep moving here, because the two that fall down like some chopped down trees or whatever are a little hard. Blobby has been slain, and so I got ×2 of the pill. The wheel, that's fun. I have not seen that before. Dissolve, would that mean skip, I guess? Increase movement speed from 6 to 7. So I'm going to gain that twice. That was the wrong time to scratch my nose while I was clicking through to starting things up again. Whoops. Really opened myself up to that one. I want to just gather up some experience. I have another like mini boss elite enemy type that I have to deal with here. I don't like that enemies breaking apart into those little blobs are like basically the same color as the enemies. It's a shade darker, but it creates a lot of clutter. Idle hands. Attacks fire +1 additional projectile, but your attacks deal less damage. Less damage, and if I just focus on like triggering effects though that have a like % chances of activating, let's mess around with that. So I'm just going to attack more often, less damage, but hopefully I trigger a bunch more chain lightnings and other such things that'll start comboing together. I can't believe how badly the boss kind of is messing me up here. I wasn't prepared for that. Oh god, does he... I think he pulled me in towards him. I think that's what was just going on there. Oh my goodness. Ooh la! 2 times 10% crit chance. So I just get 20% crit chance improvement forever? That seems really great, actually. Maybe my keyboard is like, the keys are getting sticky or something like that. I built my own keyboard, and I feel like I have had a couple issues with it. Oh, that was health. That was hidden under there. Yeah, the keyboard's not overly old, quite new is another way of saying that. Oh, no. Okay, just gotta be a little bit more on my guard there. And I gotta kill you, man. It's a long time. Whoa, okay, finally I had a big amount of damage all at once. The guy is impressed by you. I like this. That's such a fun way of rewarding that. It's quick, and it's just kind of neat. It still has that random element, and it's price is right. Could be anything, you know. So now I'm gonna have 2 of these spiky discs, even though I wasn't building towards them. You can get 4 times the thing. So it launches it, and then it stays in place. So it flies around me, and then it hit something, and then it flew away. But it flew away in a totally random direction where it did nothing. That was not helpful. There was an arrow telling me to go a specific direction there. The broken citrine. Is that because I would level it up past a certain amount here? Increase attack speed by an extra 15 now. Every time you attack, you have a 15% chance to gain a stack of frenzy, which can increase it further. So maybe that's just because I've leveled it up enough times that it became a new thing. Chain, your initial attack has a 10% chance to chain up to 1 enemy. Oh, so I can start, I've chain lightning and chain my attack. Dealing damage to enemies has a 95%, above 95% HP. I thought it was going to be a chance thing. Has a 20% chance to deal 25% of that damage again. So that could just smoke enemies. This could bounce around and rip through things. That's interesting. But I like the idea of building attack speed, building the frenzy. Am I supposed to go into this? Is that I'm advancing to the next area? Okay. Okay, so you kind of complete areas then. Yeah, the saw blade just goes and does its own thing. Like, it comes back to you, but I didn't realize it just would fly off the screen. I thought it would hit an enemy and then stay in position and like continue doing damage there. I want my howl to reach its like next tier. I think I want that to be made stronger. This cluster is big enough that having like the types of attacks that bounce between enemies and stuff seem really, really good. Increase damage, increase the radius of things. This guy, 2 dizzy balls that each shoot, and this one just does more damage than things. So let's just, well, I've already hacked down my damage a little bit, so maybe it makes more sense to raise it back up. This is a flood of enemies. That's a lot very suddenly. Let me just run the perimeter of that and try to not get completely and utterly surrounded. Oh, scoop up. Scoop all that up. Deal more damage the faster you move. That's I can't make good use of that, I don't think. An extra one of the things that shoots projectiles. So there's just the tracking of all your items. Seemingly there's not the limitation of like you can only hold 6 unique items at a time or any such thing. Attack damage, damage multiplier, move speed, crit chance, crit damage, attack speed, rate of fire, attack range, and experience multiplier. Lots of things to keep track of, but it's not really that insane or complicated or anything. And honestly, the work put into making the UI and things in this game as simple as it is I'm a fan of for sure. So this is the better wave. Release a medium wave, still medium. Every half second and up to 2 damage. So yeah, let me just take the bigger wave damage dealer. So every time you see the red number, those must be crits, which means I'm doing crits quite often. Yeah, a quarter of the time is actually pretty damn good, considering the amount of different sources of damage and rate of attack and everything. That's actually a lot. Piling on. And enemies exploding on each other and things, all of that's layering together really well already. And I can make them explode more often for more damage. Attack range I don't think matters to me here. I mostly am staying relatively close to little packs of enemies. Oh, I wanted to push in there to gather up experience. No, got explosive guy that I don't want to get too near, but I kind of got cornered. Hey, the ghost blob. Chance to convert into ghosts. Yep, we've seen that. I think we've seen all of these, but not all of them have been, none of them have been used. I can just make them deal more damage, or this like more rare thing. 1 in 50 converting to a ghost. You are killing hundreds of things. 5 seconds dealing low damage to all nearby enemies. Could it possibly be that strong? It's rare, and that's my main motivator for trying it. Get me the hell away from that number of explosive enemies. Everything that got summoned is explosive. When you explode on each other, do you deal damage? I think they do. Look at that guy. He's got the big long legs. He's just hoofing it over to me. He's just gonna keep running at me. I think that's his entire thing. Oh no, those are rocks. You can't go through those. Hug the coast. Hug the coast. Oh god. Push through. Nice and gentle. Ah. Oh, my key got sticky and I stopped moving. Alright, I'm using the mouse. I'm using the mouse to move. No more risk of sticky keys. What are these guys, these spider things, they're firing big projectiles at me and things. I'm afraid of them. 4 times. 4 times the radius? Oh, not even the thing I thought. I don't even know if I have this yet. They have a 15% chance to conjure the Frostbolt, which slows enemies, deals damage. It has a chance to trigger an Ice Nova. I think that's the readout of its stats at level 4? I'm not sure. I think that's what it does, is it instantly tells you. So it's funny, I went from 0 of that to 4, so it kind of does make it worth having all of a sudden when you take that big of a leap forward. The exploding fire pool. Enemies have a chance to explode on death, leaving a pool of fires. That's what would change there. And this is still just better attack speed, and the frenzy caps out higher. Ooh, the AoE on that one seems pretty damn good, actually. Yeah, things are exploding like left and right, and that seems to make a big difference. a quarter of the time you gain the frenzy. I like the pool. I like the fire pool. I feel like that is... Enemies in this game cluster like crazy, and so the more you can damage big entire groups of them between pools of fire, frost novas, we're getting them with the Shaquille O'Neal, the icy hot. Is what I call that synergy. This still remains medium, hey? I've kind of started playing further back, so I don't know if I should invest in that more right now. Enemies have a chance to release up to 2 worms on death, each dealing 3 damage to all enemies it hits. Let's just make the fire pool even more devastating, because I think the upgrading things, especially that is... So many pools are being generated. Did I just grab a magnet maybe? And then the stronger I make them, they're just gonna wreck things. So this is all new. I don't have any of these. It has a homing goo chance. This has a chance to ignite upon death. I could go full fire. The worm was interesting to me. All damage dealt has a 10% chance to crit strike for extra. So it's just additional crit chance. And your crits are made better, I guess, is the other part of that. I think the worms were funny, but every 0.5 seconds for 1 second, so it would deal 1 damage total. But the more you layer into that, the more likely they are to explode and things. Let's just do it. Let's go. Let's commit to the fire. The worms sounded neat and kind of fun, but I like the idea of, I don't know, committing to fire on top of fire. Do all of you want to cluster yourselves back up again? I'm much more effective when you do that. It seems like it's been a longer wait between elite enemies, and still haven't seen like the boss in this area. Oh god, that got quite tight all of a sudden. Oh, because there's so many explosive enemies again. All right, I gotta do a better job of staying away from that. End of the demo. Something that has 1,000,000 health. All right, well, it's a little tricky to kill, isn't it? Wubby Wubby, more experience. Oh my god, look at the size of that. The crit has a chance of causing the slashes. And the more you move, I don't care about that one. I could add the worms, I guess. Or I dissolve it and take experience. I don't think I really cared about any of those. I'll give myself a nice way of reaching the next level a little more quickly. I didn't expect to reach the demo quite so soon. Ah, now they're exploding volcanic pools. So it's a chance to explode on death. It leaves a pool behind. Then the explosion releases 3 volcanic orbs exploding upon impact. So they're just gonna burst and burst and burst, and you can see the little orbs get tossed up in the air as that pool gets made. So it's worth investing. You don't have to do the thing in Vampire Survivors where it's like, well, you need to invest in the hatchet and the lightning, or whatever the combos are. Oh yeah, you can control your speed with the mouse, which a little bit, yeah, just a little bit, but I think it still comes into play. I'm starting to think that 1,000,000 damage is excessive. I think it's done in a way that's very purposely. Like, you would have to really, really commit to deal this amount of damage. Maybe I mess around with it for a minute, see how much experience I can earn, if I can level up various things enough to have absurd damage dealt. But I don't even think... They didn't even, like, make a boss here. They just made a really big goober. I like those slow-moving hulking guys. It's kind of funny, actually. Like, yeah, we're not even going to make a second boss. We're just going to make this big, beefy guy who seemingly is, like, as fast as me, and he's really messing me up. I just want to kill the brute that's running around. Yeah, it keeps catching me. Or, like, near enough. This guy, oh yeah, I just summoned him a minute ago, and I was like, what the heck was that? Why was there a white one? He would go up to 6% chance and more damage dealt. All damage dealt, higher crit chance, higher chance of summoning, lasts longer, and high damage. Let's take the level 2 of that, I guess. It basically looks the same as those dark ones that are rolling around. He's faster than me, so it really is just like a limiter. You're not supposed to be able to do that. Or to defeat that, I don't think. Artifact unlocked. Circle of self-control. You can now aim your shots. So, like, if that's just what I wanted, if I wanted that option, I do just want to go back to the main menu, please. Yeah. Quit makes me assume it's going to exit the game. Then I could start investing into upgrades. Extra XP, attack range, radius, movement speed, HP, crit chance, crit damage, attack speed, base damage of Goobies. So they do more damage? That one I don't understand. Increase your chance of getting rare items, get a small spirit that regenerates HP, and your Goobies gain an extra projectile. Then there's the encyclopedia of characters, of enemies, of items. And you can get a sense of like the amount of stuff you haven't unlocked, the amount of enemies you've yet to see, different selection of characters. And these are who all worked on the game. They are the Goobies, apparently. Artifact. So you would have the ability, a score bonus. It doesn't affect your score bonus. It's just you can choose where you want to aim if you want. And you need whatever that measurement is to unlock additional characters. Combo of 1,000, which I guess I never did, but I don't get to see how he's different. So there you have it. It is in most ways the same as what you've come to know from this genre, but it's Goobies, and I'm into that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll have a link down below if you want to check it out for yourself. I hope to see you again soon.